Hey, how you doing? Welcome to Rockinboxes Presents, guys. Hey, welcome. This week, my goodness, Nights of Halloween. I can't believe it. Spectacular talent. Hi, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Horror icon talent. And tonight, my guest on the first to kick it off is Adam Marcus from Chasing Goes to Hell and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. Everybody, please welcome, coming off of his movie as well, Secret Santa, Adam Marcus. How are you, Adam? How's it going?
It's doing.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did everybody? There we go. Hello, Adam. How are you doing there?
Hell, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much, and thanks very much for your time. Thanks for doing this. This is wonderful.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, absolutely. I'm thrilled to be here.
Oh yeah, this is awesome. Rockinboxes presents, Tribulation Studios. We put this all together, and I'm really excited that you're here. So you know what? Let's get the party started, and happy Halloween to everybody out there. It's just around the corner. Freaky time for everybody, and let's talk a little bit about you. Let's talk about we'll take you back to 1993. Jason Goes to Hell. Talk about how you were on that project and how that all came about. Let the people know.
I had spent most of my life surrounded by my best friend was a guy named, and his dad is Sean S. Cunningham, who directed him 13th, and I was a permanent fixture in their family. And in fact, I worked professionally early on. I worked as an editor. I did a bunch of other stuff, PAing for him. And in fact, he was one of the first supporters of the first theatrical company that I created in Connecticut. And when I graduated from NYU Film School, I won Best Picture there, and told me, come to LA, be my bitch for a year, and I'll give it. And so I came to LA. I started working with Sean. I set up a picture with him at Disney. Ultimately, that ended up being called My Boyfriend's Back. And for me, helping to set up was the youngest of a major student to make a major motion picture. So that's my origin story into heading into.
All right. I'm going to just say something right now. That was a bit glitchy. Sorry, Adam. Adam had a Wi-Fi issue, and that's okay. So it was everybody. The commenters, people that are in the comment section, if you could hear Adam, maybe we can go back to that. Adam, can you hear me? You were kind of breaking up a little bit in there. You hear me clear?
I sure can.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, so that is great. So you've been friends with the Cunninghams for a long time. So what was your take on the whole not being able to use the Friday the 13th? I think I might have missed that, but the Friday the 13th title for Jason Goes to Hell.
It wasn't really an issue because it was. Movie. So we were never concerned.
I'm sorry, frozen up there. We're just talking about how he knew the Cunninghams, Sean S. Cunningham from Friday the 13th part all the way through. Sean Cunningham, everybody knows. I'm sorry. It was there's no picture. Yeah, it's I'm sorry, Adam. You know what? We did this. We worked the kinks out on this last night, and it went really well. So, Adam, are you still with us?
Brother.
Okay, let's see. Are you there? Good. You know, the last night when we did this, it was fantastic. And you know, I've always said that Google Hangouts is way better than Skype. So I'm sorry. Can you guys please in the comments section, please let me know if you can hear Adam at all. Oh, there you are.
I'm right here, brother.
Yeah. Okay. So if you wouldn't mind,
You the whole time.
The whole Friday the 13th thing with Jason Goes to Hell. I'm sorry. Some people were saying you were really glitchy, and hopefully we can get this.
What had happened with Jason Goes to Hell?
All right. So let's move on to. I'm really, really sorry, Adam. I apologize about what's going on here. It's so, and they're saying there's no image of you either. You want to? I have an idea. I'm going to talk to the people, and then if you wanted to kick out
perfectly.
You can hear yourself perfectly. It's glitching on my end. Some of the people are saying that it's glitching out on the YouTube thing because. Are you there? Wow. Okay, so that's okay. Adam, last night, like I said, when we did this, we worked out the kinks, and I'm thinking maybe he's going to switch over to a better Wi-Fi. Unfortunately, that's okay. So let's just say hello to everybody that popped in. Tampa Jay's here. Night of the Brave. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Ed Ventures. Just Aaron is here. Thanks a lot, guys. If there's any kind of questions, it is kind of bad when these things happen. The Wi-Fi kind of goes down on everybody, but no audio. I know. So he's kind of. I think he's kicked himself out, and I don't know. Maybe he's just working a kink out or two. We could.
I'm right here.
You're back there? Thanks, Tampa Jay. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. We're just waiting on Adam, hopefully. Yeah, you know, they're saying that there's no picture of you, Adam, when you are gone. If you wanted, we could, I'm going to say we could reschedule. I don't know what else to say at this point. No, everybody's just waiting for you. No big deal. We can keep going. I mean, I can talk forever. I'm like Oda Mae Brown from Ghost. Anyway, folks, you know, sometimes these things happen. The internet's not so foolproof when it comes to certain things. And yeah, so that's great. I'm glad that you guys are hanging on. Thank you very much. I love you guys too. It's one of those things. So if you could just give me a moment, I'm going to play some elevator music while I'm gone. Just let me, give me, okay. It's a live broadcast. Anything can happen live, man. It's awesome. What do you guys think of the background? Hey, it looks great. I know Jerry Potter, he did an amazing job, of course. Tribulation Studios guys. And that's okay. We can always work this out with Adam at some other point. We could do that. That would be a great idea. I'm gonna touch base with him right now as I'm talking to you guys, and I can't see him. No, I'm just gonna let's see. I will ask Adam to. We could do a phone call, and I'll ask Adam to call me. Let's see, and then maybe we'll do it that way. And hopefully we can do this. We can do this via the phone, and that's a great idea. I was going to do that, hoping that his internet would kick in, and it's okay, no big deal. You know what, guys? Like I said, these things happen, and I'm holding it together. Ah! Hey, you know what? Maybe there's some really, see, you know what? I think it's these two right behind me that are just really, you know, this one too. Maybe the pumpkin, who knows? Let me see. So, let's see. I'll just wait on and see if he'll get back to me. If you give me 1 second, I'll be right back, guys. I apologize. Just enjoy the scenery. Don't eat anything off the table. All right, so here I'm back, folks. I sent him a message. I've also got, I'm gonna have Jerry call him in the interim. And so guys, it's okay. I'm really, you know, this is what happens when we go live sometimes. We've had lots of glitchy moments. It's just, you know how it is. The Wi-Fi is sometimes, they just don't work as well as you want them to work. So let me see who is still with us. We still have 7 viewers, and that's great. I'm glad that you guys have stuck around. Thanks for the support. I really appreciate it. Oh, look at you guys. Yeah, but you're not there. Yeah. Let me see. So there you go. Adam has gotten back to me. I really appreciate it. And yeah. Yeah, I blame the pumpkin too. I blame him on the. Yeah, absolutely.
Why don't we get on speaker with Sean live right now?
Just 1 sec, guys. I have him on the other phone, and I'm sure you're listening. Okay. Hi, Adam.
Hey, brother. How you doing?
Oh, I am so sorry. So everybody is, you know, waiting for you, and hopefully everybody can hear what you're saying. So I'm going to put you close to the speaker, and let's see if we can get through this. Okay, so we can start, you know, again, let's just go over, first off, you guys, okay, I want to ask everybody, can you hear Adam? That's all I want to ask everybody, and let's see what they say. Oh,
all right, so
okay.
If you want me to talk for a second, can you hear me?
Yeah, it says I can hear him. Great, awesome. All right, so let's go through this. All right, so essentially we were just talking about the Cunninghams and how you knew them. So let's just go over that because that's where you glitched out.
Sure, no problem. I knew the Cunninghams because Noel Cunningham, Sean Cunningham's son, was my best friend since we were 6. And so I was kind of a permanent fixture in their home, and I did some PA work for them, and Noel and I were always writing scripts to give to his dad, to have him critique them. And by the time I was 15, I actually ended up starting my own theatrical company in Connecticut, and Sean actually helped support that company. He was amazing to me. So in the middle of that, I was doing all kinds of readings. I did the first reading of the first Nightmare on Elm Street script with Sean and with Wes. Just did a lot of amazing stuff around their home. And when I went to NYU Film School, I won Best Picture there. And Sean called me up and made me an offer I couldn't refuse, which was, he said, "Come out to LA and be my bitch for a year." Those were his words, not mine. And I will give you your shot to make your first feature. So I rushed out to LA. I had $300 in my pocket and no driver's license because I was living in New York for the last 4 years. And I started working for Sean. And in the next year, I helped set up a movie for him that I was going to direct at Disney called My Boyfriend's Back. It was originally called Johnny Zombie, but it ended up being called My Boyfriend's Back. And Disney was taking it in sort of a very Disney direction, which is fine for them. It just wasn't the movie I wanted to make.
Right.
So I came to Sean. I said, Sean, set up this movie for you. You should be thrilled that everybody's going to make a lot of money. That's great. I said, but I want to make a feature. And Sean said, well, New Line is picking up the rights to Friday the 13th.
Right.
And he gave me a shot to write and direct the picture. And so I wrote a treatment in 3 days, brought it to him. He loved the treatment, and we started developing the script. And in fact, the guy who had written that other movie, My Boyfriend's Back, Dean Laurie, who was my closest friend in college, one of my roommates, Dean and I ended up writing the script together. And that's how I jumped into Jason Goes to Hell. So I got hired to start writing the movie when I was 21.
Right.
I made the film when I was 23, and I was the youngest writer-director ever hired by a major studio to direct the movie.
Are you there?
So,
oh yeah,
how that all?
Oh no, that was perfect. Everybody got it. They heard you clear as a bell. That's awesome. So you mentioned the late Wes Craven. What was it? What was the experience working along with him? And unfortunately, he's no longer in the scene. And I got to meet Robert Englund. But yeah, with Wes, talk a little bit about Wes Craven and how he was.
Wes, everybody called him Uncle Wes. Wes was amazing. The thing about Wes Craven, and by the way, the thing about a lot of horror guys, Stephen King, Clive Barker, a lot of these guys, they seem like they're going to be really scary dudes, especially because of the kind of things they make. Nothing could be further from the truth. Wes was one of the kindest, most soft-spoken, just a very sweet, thoughtful man. And in fact, when he came to NYU while I was a student there, and he was showing the movie Shocker. And when he walked in the room, he saw me in the middle of the room, and again, I'm a freshman in college, and he yells out, he goes, "Adam!" And he comes up and gives me a hug in front of the rest of the class, which to some people made me super cool. Everybody else hated my guts from that moment forward. But Wes was a doll. He was a sweetheart. Look, Sean was terrific, especially when I was growing up. He was like a second father to me. And, I was surrounded by these incredibly, talented, interesting people who made movies. And it's what inspired me to make movies.
No, wow, what a story. It's amazing because I've met a lot of the people from the horror community, and you think like, a Kane Hodder or I haven't met Kane. I'm going to meet him in November, but you think about these guys being his monsters, and it's like,
yeah,
deep down, they are the sweetest guys or sweetest people you'll ever meet, women, whatever. It's
you bet. You bet.
and you look at the other side of things anyway. Well, we won't go into that, but
no, you're right. You're right. It's the people who get to get past all that darkness. Those of us that get to play in the world of darkness, we get it out of our system. So we end up being kind of sweet, kind people, where a lot of people who make comedies can be really not fun to be around.
Yeah.
they're constantly up. They don't get to exile those demons. So we get to do that, which is, I think, helpful psychologically, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. So I mentioned to a couple of people that you were going to be on the program, and the person had asked me, they said, I mean, it's a tough one to say, but I'm sure I know the answer already. Which franchise is better, Nightmare or Friday?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's not for me. Okay, we don't even have to go into it.
Wait. I will say this. I will say this. What's cool about the Nightmare franchise, and it is cool. The thing that's cool about the Nightmare franchise is that it's magical. So you can kind of do anything you want. Which, by the way, was why I created a mythology for Jason Goes to Hell, because for my money, Friday the 13th did not have a mythology. It had a simple story about a mother whose child drowned. She comes to kill all the campers because they didn't protect her child in her mind. And then her son somehow rises from Crystal Lake after being drowned for 30 years? What? So for me, I said, okay, there's got to be a mythology here. And I actually tried to bring the Friday the 13th franchise closer to the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise simply by giving it some magical elements.
Right. And
but yeah, the Friday the 13th franchise kicks the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise's butt.
Well, there you go. There you go. So you heard it right from Adam Marcus himself.
That's right.
This whole Friday the 13th thing, you know, being this month, did you by any chance get a chance to see the movie Never Hike Alone, the one that was on with Vincent DeSante, who was on my program a couple weeks last, had him on Monday the 16th. Did you have a chance to see that movie at all?
Yeah, and I thought it was terrific.
You thought it was good, eh? Did you see any? Do you see it going forward to anything else? Because I asked Vincent, and we spoke behind the scenes, obviously, and he gave me his thoughts. Obviously, everybody keeps asking him a sequel. Do you have any advice for him?
Look, my advice for him is he's got talent, and I think that movie shows that he has talent. And quite frankly, look, the Friday 13th franchise is having tough days right now. The lawsuit that's going on, Victor Miller and Sean, and all this stuff that's happening behind the scenes. And quite frankly, Paramount shelved the latest reboot of Friday the 13th this year already. My advice to him is, dude, make other movies. Like, get away from Jason. Jason's awesome. I hope that we get to get more of him in the future. But start to create your own thing, because he's got a voice, and he should use it to make awesome movies, because he's already showing that he can do the job.
Right. So
my advice to him is, jump on and make your own franchise and create your own characters. Don't sit around waiting for Jason's dance. It's going to be a rough road for that series right now, and so I would really, I would recommend doing his own thing, because he's really talented.
Right. Yeah, and absolutely what he did to that. I mean, turning the whole thing around and bringing it to it was an organic feeling. We brought us back to Friday the 13th Part 1 kind of thing. I told him that. I said, it really had that amazing flavor, and you're right. He's very talented for sure. So let's tell a little backstory. Give a little backstory about Jason Goes to Hell and how you did get the gig again. I'm not sure if we totally got everything on that with the glitch. So did I ask you that?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, the way I got it was, I had won Best Picture at NYU, and Sean really, he was excited about working with me, and he let me roll with the movie because he saw in me something that he had seen earlier in Steve Miner, who directed Part 2 and Part 3. In fact, we both had the same nickname around the office. And I think Sean, was giving me a shot to really become a filmmaker. So, yeah, I had lived with the franchise my whole life. I love the franchise, and I love the character. And, in a new direction. He wanted to get the hockey mask out of the movie. I know recently he's denied that claim. It's not true. He wanted to get the hockey mask out of the movie.
Okay.
And made the comment to me. And I said, okay, I'll figure out a way to get it. Here's the thing. I'm a huge Jason fan. So by the end of the movie, I brought the hockey mask back into the movie.
Right.
Quite frankly, another thing that a lot of people think was somehow handed to me, which it was not. Freddy's glove dragging Jason's mask into hell was 100% my idea. New Line did not make me do that. New Line did not dictate that. I was putting all kinds of Easter eggs into the movie. And if you watch the film, I asked Sam Raimi, who I was hanging out on set of Army of Darkness with, I told him I wanted to put the Necronomicon into the film. And Sam asked me why. I told him, and Sam literally put the Necronomicon into a baggie and handed it to me to put in the movie. So I had all these kind of amazing, kind of fun Easter eggs for the fans. And I said, wait a second. We were all hanging out at our apartment. And I said, wait a second. Doesn't New Line own Freddy outright? Isn't it theirs? And my roommate's like, yeah, I think so. So I called my two executives, Mike DeLuca and Mark Gordesky at New Line, who are amazing filmmakers.
Yeah.
And I said, guys, can I have the glove? And they were like, what do you want to use it for? And I told them what I wanted. I told them what I wanted the ending to be. And the next thing you know, to my set comes this wooden box, this very important wooden box, the actual glove from production. And the fun thing is that Kane Hodder, who plays Jason in my film, also got to play a security guard in the film, and he played a third character in the film, which is he played Freddy Krueger. So he's the guy who actually dragged the mask down into hell. So Kane is actually 3 different characters in Jason Goes to Hell. But yeah, that's that story came from myself and my partner Dean Worry, and then the whole team at Cunningham Productions, or a lot of people, Louis Abernathy was there, Noel, Sean, everybody contributing and helping to build this film, to give the fans something different and to give them a mythology.
Absolutely. And what if it was like, now we're gonna get a Freddy versus Jason.
You bet.
And that's what happened. And I got to interview Ken and Robert while they were here at Niagara Falls. Singer, man, he's one hell of a guy. Again, I only do an interview. I said, Robert, would you do an interview? Would you get in on it? And he says, yeah, if Ken will do it. So it was fantastic that I got that opportunity. I'm going to move from what you said, 3 monsters, a security guy, Kane Hodder, Jason, as well as Freddy Krueger, and moving on to, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D and Dan Yeager.
Sure. Dan's the man.
Yeah.
Man. He's awesome.
It's great
awesome
because
guy.
For sure. I already told you last night that I'm gonna meet them coming up. Frightmare here in Niagara Falls is gonna be great. So I'm gonna talk to Kane and tell him how great this was in this interview, but as well as Dan. So talk a little bit about the 3D and how you got that, how that gig all came about.
Well, that came about a little bit more of a standard way. Deborah and I, my wife, Deborah is my writing partner. The two of us were represented at Evolution Entertainment, which was they're also Twisted Pictures, and they were really interested. They were helping to make the new Texas Chainsaw movie. There were every big horror writer in town wanted the gig. In fact, there were 17 different pitches they heard on this movie.
Oh wow!
And Deborah and I were the 17th pitch. But man, did we want that movie! Like, I was excited about it. I knew how we wanted to go with it and what direction we wanted to move in. and I really wanted to work with Lionsgate because I'm a huge fan of the people over there. So Deb and I, we wrote a 15-page treatment. This was, by the way, we had 2 weeks to prep. So we wrote a 15-page treatment, and then we wrote the first 10 pages of the screenplay because we knew they had to move quickly. They had to get this thing into production. And we were so excited that we just gave them all this material and gave them this pitch that they loved. And we beat, the other 16 writers or writing groups to get the job, which was exhilarating and awesome. And we were up against amazing writers, people we have tremendous respect for. And so yeah, we started writing for Lionsgate. Now, originally, it was going to be a $20 million Lionsgate production, and then it changed, and it ended up being a buy from Lionsgate where they were going to put the movie out. So they suddenly had to make the movie for less than half the money we had written it for, which was very complicated and strange kind of set of circumstances. And especially when you're doing a 3D movie that is tons of effects. So it became more about ingenuity and how to tell the story in a more down and dirty way, which is, by the way, that's what I do. I know how to bring something in for a budget. That's kind of what I do.
Right.
So so that was sort of the origin of Texas Chainsaw, which was great film to be on and great people worked on it. And Dan's amazing. I mean, he was a great Leatherface. He's just the best.
Yeah, and
look, we also
go ahead.
We got to work with Gunnar. We got to work with Gunnar Hansen on the movie, who's terrific, and Marilyn Burns is in the movie. Like, we got to really pay homage to Tobe Hooper. And again, Tobe, by the way, God rest his soul, another genius we just lost.
Yeah.
Tobe loved our script. I mean, really loved the script. So. And called us to tell us, which was amazing. Like, that's one of the great moments of our lives, actually. So,
oh my gosh, I'm not like a fanboy of any, by any means.
Sure.
I just love what you guys do and your crafts and everything like that. Like your whole, how you guys put things together when things do come together. I've actually been on movie sets, and then when you actually look, you get to see when you go to the screening and you're like, oh, I remember being on that part of the set, but why did they cut that out? And there's reasons for it. I mean, you gotta cut back on certain things and whatnot. But let's say, I'm gonna say this. So, you did Jason Goes to Hell in 1993. You did Conspiracy in 2008, Texas Chainsaw in 2013, Momentum in 2015, and obviously right now you're coming off of a movie that you've just done, Secret Santa. So let's talk a little bit about Secret Santa, and if you could give everybody just a little backstory and all that of what the movie entails.
Absolutely. Well, what happened was about 2.5 years ago, right after Momentum, my wife Deborah and I formed a company called Skeleton Crew with our best friend Brian Sexton, who's a brilliant producer. He's made about 40 movies, and Brian, genius when it to putting projects together. And so really what we wanted to do is we didn't really want to be in the studio system anymore. We loved doing it. It was really fun, but you don't really get to make the choices on the kind of content you're creating when you're working for a studio because they're paying the bills. They get to make the choices, which makes all the sense in the world. So we wanted to kind of take control of our careers. And one movie that you didn't mention, I made a movie in 1998 called Let It Snow.
Oh, yes.
Released in 2000.
Yeah, I do have that. I had it in another. That's okay. I have a little tidbit of questions for every little thing. So I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, not at all. No. It's totally fine. The only reason I bring it up is Let It Snow was an independent film I made with my brother, Kip, who is a wonderful actor and writer. And the two of us made that movie for about $200,000. This is after I did Jason Goes to Hell because I didn't want to be pigeonholed. I didn't want every movie I made to have a part number at the end of it. So we made this little independent movie, and the movie went to Sundance. We won AFI LAIFF. We were in Deauville Film Festival in France, Avignon Film Festival. We were all over the world. And the thing is, the experience of that was so joyous, was so powerful, that I went to, when Deborah and I and Brian set up our new company, I was like, look, I want to make the kind of movies that I am just proud of everything we put out there. And if it's good or if it's bad, we'll take it. Just, we know that it's our choices that are making these movies.
Right.
So the other part of it is, I kind of looked around our industry and said, where are all the Roger Cormans? Where did all the Roger Cormans go? Where did the people go who supported young talent and new talent? And it wasn't about money, it was about telling stories. The company has an agenda to really go out there and discover people, and to take great writers who've written 20 movies but have never gotten a chance to direct a movie. To take artists who their whole lives have wanted to do one job and they've never gotten a chance to do that job. Also, to hire people who are quote unquote too old for our business.
Right.
And to always, be championing diversity, whether it be from gender or color or religious background. So what we want to do is make really cool genre films for a budget, but let people really make their movie, tell their story. So in an effort to make sure that would work, we made our first film, which was Secret Santa.
Right.
So Secret Santa is a haramedy. It is a haramedy. And the thing about Secret Santa is, it's really your fantasy of what Christmas could be if you got to tell everybody what you really think of them. So it's about this family that gets together for Christmas, on Christmas Eve, for this big dinner. And for some reason, everybody starts telling the truth, almost uncontrollably telling the truth. And after they say what they want to say, they start doing what they want to do to each other.
Right.
And this becomes a massacre at the Christmas dinner table. So it was this opportunity to make something that was sort of funny and still horror and cynical and really gory. And what's been amazing, we just got back from Spain. We were at the Sitges Film Festival. We were an official selection at the Sitges Film Festival, which is incredible. Right from the The Shape of Water. So we're an amazing company, right? It was their 50th anniversary. So we just got back from that. We are right now in Houston doing Houston Horror-a-thon tomorrow night.
Houston Horror-a-thon,
This weekend we're at LA Comic-Con showing the film at LA Comic-Con, and then next week we're at the Portland Film Festival. We've been invited to half a dozen other film festivals, but I can't say yet because they haven't announced, so they're not allowing me to spill the beans. The movie is just taking the festival world by storm. We just got our first review, which is a 5-star review out of England, from an amazing critic who I'm a huge fan of, and he gave us this incredible write-up. The movie is this tiny little film that I am more proud of than anything else I've ever accomplished.
Sounds one. I've seen the preview, obviously, with our promo that we did, and thank you very much to Jerry. Jerry did a wicked job. Jerry Potter at Tribulation Studios. He did a
wonderful job. Jerry kills it on those promos. The guy is super talented.
Oh yeah, thanks. I will definitely let him know, because he's. Anyway, yeah. Enough said. Exactly. you hit the nail on the head. So one more question. I'm just going to run down the line here. I think. Let me see. Someone said, I'm watching. Jason Goes to Hell right now. I've always wondered the inspiration for the possession of Jason. Okay, so somebody wanted to know the idea and the whole possession of Jason in Jason Goes to Hell. So if you could just briefly answer that.
Sure can. It actually goes back to the Necronomicon that I borrowed from Sam Raimi. Here's the thing. my feeling about the movie, and this is what Jason Goes to Hell was going to be the most logical Friday the 13th film. That was the idea. And I know that sounds crazy because it's got such crazy stuff in it, but indulge me. The opening of the film, my feeling was, okay, this guy has killed over 130 people inside of a tiny window of time over a few years.
Right.
Eventually, the feds are going to be given that case because that's a serial killer.
Yeah.
So they set up a sting with this young woman, and Jason falls for it. And then the feds surround him, and they blow him up.
Right.
They get rid of this nuisance. They kill the maniac. Great. Now, here's the thing. Because the original Friday the 13th was about a mom who is then wreaking vengeance for her dead child. But this little boy has been hiding in the waters of Camp Crystal Lake for 30 years.
Yeah.
So how did that happen? So my feeling was, okay, using the Necronomicon, which I put into the Voorhees house, my idea was always, okay, so Pamela Voorhees, Jason's mother, makes a deal with the devil and brings her son back to life, brings back the one thing, the one person she couldn't live without, which is her little Jason. But of course, he comes back as, for my money, one of the evil dead or a zombie. Okay? This gives him a different set of circumstances and different abilities. So my idea constantly was, okay, if Pamela makes this deal with the devil, her son isn't just her son. Her son is this demon from hell. So you can blow up a demon from hell. It doesn't mean the core of evil is going to disappear. And it's why early in the film, the coroner eats the evil heart and takes on the idea of being Jason. And it's something people say like, oh, there's not enough Jason in your movie. I'm like, wait a second. There's more Jason in my movie than any of the Friday the 13th. It's just that he's not wearing a hockey mask. He's wearing other people's skin instead of wearing a hockey mask. So what they're bemoaning is there's not enough hockey mask in the movie. Well, I'm not interested in making a movie without a hockey mask. I'm interested in making a movie without a character.
Right.
And for me, the fun of Jason Goes to Hell was getting all these different actors to work with Kane so that Kane could train them to move like Jason, act like Jason, to do all of this stuff that actually I think became far more complicated and interesting. So that's why Jason is this body-hopping demon. And honestly, he's trying to get back to his true form, which by the end of the movie, he comes back as the big hulking Jason with the hockey mask. Yeah.
So there you go. That answers Tampa Jay's question. He's in Florida. He's a great guy. He really wanted to know that the whole idea behind it. So that was well explained. There you go. He said, hey, that was my question. One other, I think there's two other questions here from Aaron. Aaron asks, he says, do you have, when you started professionally at 15, which he thinks is totally amazing, how early on did you know and that you wanted to be involved in theater and film and whatnot?
Sure. Well, my whole family was in the business. My whole family, they're mostly actors. Almost everybody in the family is an actor. My Uncle Joe actually made a movie called Don't Go in the House. He wrote and directed that movie and produced it. So he had made a horror film when I was a kid as well. But here's the thing. I went to see, it's such a cliche for people of my generation, but I went to see Star Wars. I was 9 years old. I saw it on the second day it had opened. It was Saturday. My father had seen it in New York on Friday, drove to Connecticut and took me in the morning to the first show. And I saw Star Wars, I think, 8 times over the next 7 days.
Sorry to interrupt you. I think I saw it like 8 times in a day. I went in theater. Right. In the theater. In the theater.
There you go. Exactly.
Sorry to interrupt.
Right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, not at all. No, I know the feeling. And I have to tell you, the first moment that the Star Destroyer flew over my head, the very first time, I said to my dad, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And he thought I wanted to be an astronaut. I was like, no, I'm going to tell stories. I'm going to make things like this happen. And by the way, when you walk into my house, the first thing you walk into is a full standing stormtrooper at our front door.
Wow.
So
good luck trying to rob you.
This is a real thing for me. This is this is a big part of my life. And look, soon after I saw Clockwork Orange, I saw The Exorcist, and then I saw my favorite film of all time, which is All That Jazz, which is Bob Fosse's film.
Right.
And I can tell you, among those movies are the things that have formed sort of what I wanted to do as a filmmaker my whole career. So no, I knew when I was 9 years old, this is what I'm going to do.
That's wow. That's amazing. And you've obviously, you're very successful, and I really appreciate you coming on the show. I just have, this is it, and there's it's a two-parter. Really, one person, Phil's Creepy Videos. He's a great guy. He lives here in Ontario. He's all about horror. He always does reviews and whatnot. He asks, what's the director's, what's your favorite horror movie that's not yours?
Oh, well, please. I would never put my horror films as my favorite, ever. My favorite horror movie, I mean, The Exorcist is the granddaddy.
Okay.
It's the best crafted horror movie of all time. But I will say, as a close second, and it's an important second, I would say Jaws. And I know a lot of people don't think of Jaws as a horror movie. Jaws is a horror movie. It's about a giant killer shark that jumps on boats and eats people. It's a monster movie. And the thing about Jaws is that it is the most finely directed film, I think, of all time. It is so beautifully directed to within an inch of its life. So, but I will say, strictly from a horror standpoint, from just that genre, The Exorcist is nothing can beat it. Nothing ever will beat it. It's I know it has now surpassed the money that The Exorcist made, but if you amortize the dollars, it has not. Nothing will ever make the money that The Exorcist made. If you go dollar, what dollars were worth back then, they're worth now. And William Friedkin is. What's wonderful about Friedkin is that even when he directs a straight movie, even when it's not a horror film, there's this edge to it. There's this sense of dread that he brings to a picture. And the other thing that's great about The Exorcist is like all the best horror films. We just lost George Romero this year.
Yes.
Night of the Living Dead is not a movie about zombies. Yes, there's zombies in the movie. Got it. But Night of the Living Dead is a movie about Vietnam. The Exorcist is not a movie about the devil. The Exorcist is actually a movie about broken families. Reagan is a child of divorce. That was becoming a real issue in the 1970s. Friedkin made this film about a little girl whose disappointment over her father not coming for her birthday suddenly falls into bed, and from that point forward, she is sick. And if you watch the movie thinking about it that way, it's actually this incredible story about society, about what was happening at that time. It's also what's beautiful about The Exorcist, and I know a lot of people think that movie is intrinsically evil. I think that movie is intrinsically good, because the point of that film is not that there is a devil. The point of the movie is, if there is a devil, there has to be a goodness. There has to be something bigger than that.
Absolutely.
There has to be faith and kindness and good things in man. And it's kind of an incredibly inspiring, hopeful, very positive movie that happens to have a little girl who's possessed by the devil.
Right.
And it's scary. It's scary as hell. It's just a scary movie. It's still scary.
Oh, don't even go there.
It still scares me.
Oh yeah, don't even go there. Reagan's face in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, you bet. You bet.
That whole face. Every time, even now, when I look at it on the internet, sometimes I have to shy away because it's. That was an integral part of the movie that just. I 100% agree with you. So that was that question. My final question, actually, there's one more, and then one more from Jerry would like to know, actually. He was just asking, well, it was kind of what we both, okay, first off, is there anything you'd like us to say to Kane and Dan Yeager while they're here in Niagara Falls? Or should we say that when we're off air?
No, they're like, I gotta tell you, Kane and I have already planned to work together again. We've got a couple things that I want to do with Kane. Kane is truly one of the best guys I've ever worked with, and that there's no hyperbole about that. He's a lovely man. He is incredibly talented, and he just cares about these movies. So I love Kane. I really do. I love the guy with all my heart. Dan, who I've spent a lot less time with, we've done a bunch of signings with him. He couldn't be more of a gentleman, absolute sweetheart, kind of a gentle giant. And again, so talented. These guys, they just have so much to offer. It's pretty extraordinary, man. They're both incredible artists, and I love both of them. They're both incredible people.
Oh, that's great. So I'm not going to touch on my other question because you answered it. That's wicked. So other than that, from Tribulation Studios myself, Sean, I would like to thank you, for giving us the time, and apologize about the glitch. I don't know what was going on with that, but whatever. Hey, it's the internet.
Hey, whatever. We got around it, and we made it work. That's all that matters.
Absolutely. And everybody out there, thanks for joining us. The people that joined us tonight, really, we're looking forward to talking to you and getting some of their questions out, which was really great. So, yeah, guys that are watching, stay tuned tomorrow night. I'm going to have Johnny Alonzo and Kip Tribble, who are Coffin 1, Coffin 2. Johnny Alonzo's a great actor. Right now he's in New York. He's shooting some footage. Hopefully we're not going to get any glitchy stuff from him, because I'll get Johnny. He's a good buddy of mine, and it's great. So tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you all, guys. Thanks for joining me. As like I always say, be good to one another, and we will see you tomorrow night with Johnny and Kip. Is there anything that you'd like to say to anybody, a final word, Adam, to all these great people that joined us this evening, and anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, I'd just like to say to you and to Jerry, thank you for inviting me onto your terrific show, and all the work you guys do on the promos and pushing this stuff. It's I got to tell you, there's we in the industry, we need people like you who bring excitement to the work that we're doing, and who give us a voice out in the social media realm. You guys are really the thing that is making my job possible, and getting people to see the work that we're doing. And to the audience, I mean, first off, thank you guys for being here. It's amazing that you took the time out to listen to the ramblings of a guy who likes to make horror movies. But also, it's look, my company, Skeleton Crew, is we're a tiny star in a firmament that is full of a lot of other stars. And I got to tell you, as we're moving forward on this journey, come out and see Secret Santa. If you see us, at a festival, if you see us at a screening someplace near you, come out, meet us, talk to us, come see the movie. And when it's out there, eventually on VOD and Laserdisc, and Laserdisc, Blu-ray, check it out. Check the movie out, and let me know what you think, man. I'm a filmmaker who wants to get better with every movie. I want to be a better storyteller, and that only happens if my communication with the people who love these movies continues to be strong and wonderful. So, again, Sean, thank you so much for giving me a platform and giving all of us filmmakers a platform to really showcase our work.
Absolutely. And that was one other thing too. Can you please just mention to everybody where they could find you, if there was any, your website, Skeleton, if you can just...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The movie is secretsantathemovie.com. So that's where you can find stuff about the film. But for me, check me out at Adam Marcus on Facebook. Also Skeleton Crew at Facebook. And then Skeleton Crew Pro on Instagram and Twitter. So at Skeleton Crew Pro on both of those platforms. Or you can find me at Adam Marcus 13 on Twitter as well.
Amazing. I will post.
That's where we are.
That's great. I will definitely post all those links. I'll share out all the stuff.
Awesome.
And anytime you see, you can post on our walls, whatever you want to do on Facebook. My Facebook is your Facebook, my friend. Hey, everybody. Thanks a lot. I'm waving to everybody. I know you can't see it right now, Adam, and see you guys tomorrow night. And as I think there's a guy out there who says it, Boogeyman Ben, he says, stay scared, everybody. I had to just steal that from him. He's a good guy as well. Anyway, you guys take care. We'll see you guys tomorrow night.